All right, so we are live. Yo, we're already at 6 likes. Sweet. Now, to start us off, this is going to get us up and running. Wait a second. Gotta make sure we're centered. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I I want to put like this on my wall or in the background of some sort because it's like you all the time you see studios like YouTubers like having like a pretty studio in the backdrop, but like for me it's kind of the opposite thing where it's like all of my cool stuff is up against like this wall, but like the rest of my room is just my room. But anyway, yo, what's happening, everybody? I made this. Quinn's, Josiah. Oh, actually, wait, hold on a second. There you go. Yeah, yeah. How are we looking here? It's pretty sick. James, what's up? Yeah, so, oh, hey, Juggle, what's up? Yeah, so for this sculpture, we're going to be painting this guy today. There's really not much left to film for the Popeye project, but we do have to paint this guy, and I'm going to be using Craftsmart for this. Craftsmart, excuse me. It dries so fast that I think we should be able to make quite a bit of progress on stream. Yeah, just as cool as he looks gray, like this matte gray, I do think he just has to be painted for the footage. That was just kind of the intention. But yeah, gray is super cool. I got to do more pieces that I don't paint. Yo, we're at 10 viewers. What's up? Yeah, welcome back, everybody. We are back for another week of streams. So we are still doing the Popeye project. Going to be painting this guy today, and I am streaming tomorrow. So we'll probably be filming a couple scenes or still working on this guy. Excuse me. I was away this past weekend, and of course, while I was away, I like caught something and brought it home with me. So mentally, I'm a little bit spacey today. Going to be slurring my words a bit and getting words wrong. But you know what? What problems in the world are there that painting cannot fix? But yeah. A New Hope while I'm streaming. Yeah, that's one of those movies that you like commit to like memorize it by heart. Good movie. But yeah, I'm just like trying to visualize it. So, I mean, the hard part is over. Just have to start painting. Yeah, Craftsmart acrylic paint is like, it's dirt cheap and it dries super quick. It's not going to look particularly pretty, but for this, that's going to be fine. I'm trying to see. Wait, do I have anything that I don't have any foil upstairs. So I'm like, where am I going to place this paint? Let's see. Oh boy. This should be fine. Yeah, so I desperately need to figure out like my closet situation and how it's organized. So the rest of my workspace is pretty organized. Like everything has its own dedicated spot. But like right now I cannot find my scissors, and I also cannot find the remote to my air conditioner. So it's like I never lose anything. So whenever I do lose something, I'm like I'm very disturbed by it. I think I just have to start applying a coat of like primer to this. Quinn's, I am not familiar with that. What if I just gonna get like just for some reference, I'm gonna pull up a few a few of the reference videos that we had last night. Yeah, like if this was airbrushed, it would look way smoother, like way smoother. But this is just going to be like a rough paint job. But yeah, like I made pretty much like this whole portrait on stream with you guys, and it was a lot of fun. So I want to do more like sculpting streams like this. I'm also going to be getting up a lot to go get my paints. Like until I have everything, like I know the colors I need. A lot of these are like old. Let's see. This is the sealant that I use whenever I'm done with a piece. Not that I'll be spraying it indoors, but like oh wait, where's my gloss finish? Okay, wait. So like this stuff is really cool. This is something that I use to give like a gloss finish to things like mucous membranes, eyes, mouths. So this is going to go on the eyes, and that's going to look great. I don't get too many opportunities to use that. I'm also going to turn on my work clock because we are working on the Popeye project. And what I think that I'm going to do with this piece after this whole project is done, I think I might put this piece up for sale. Just the really, really annoying thing about doing like selling an original piece like this is that the clay will deteriorate a little bit over time. So it'll crack a little. Yeah, like I made sure to condition the clay before I baked it, but it still ended up getting cracks. That's like my main issue with this clay is that it just cracks. This is an old one. I'm gonna have to like scoop the paint out of this. Yeah, Jacob, I think I'm gonna sell this Popeye piece because like it is going to be a proper statue. You know, it's hard material. It's going to be painted. It's going to be it's going to have the sealant spray on it. I think I'll sell it on my website, but just one of the issues with getting like one of these clay sculptures, like handmade clay sculptures, is the clay tends to crack over a period of time. And I do hate that happening to the piece. Like I do feel bad just selling someone a piece and then like knowing like, oh yeah, it's gonna crack over time. But if I am to sell this, I'm just gonna make sure that it's disclosed in like the listing. I'm gonna combine this red with the beige and just kind of do a first layer first. I want there to be a reddish undertone before I start doing the skin. Kind of make it look more organic. Oh yeah, I'll probably watch the Digital Circus finale. I saw the series a few months ago. It was fun. kind of reminds me of Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared, but with like a bit more character work. Because in Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared, like the characters are, I guess, quite emotionally distant from the audience. Like they don't express themselves as like eloquently as some of the characters in Digital Circus. The characters in Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared are more like, I mean, they really are like puppets because like narratively, yes, they are puppets and oh god. Just give me a sec. Putting the first bit of paint on a piece, it's like the end of an era. All right, here we go. Yeah, I loved Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. Loved it. This is a good color that I have for the ear. Because like you can kind of see like the blood inside of ears, like especially in certain lighting, in certain appendages, but ears especially because they're so thin. Oh, and just an announcement to everybody. So a lot of you guys will have noticed that I announced just on the like kind of just done this whole spiel earlier. But so I recently enabled channel memberships. And what you guys can do if you so desire, you can become a member and get access to emojis and membership badges for the stream. So what's really cool about the membership badges and the emojis is like you can customize those. So I made a few emojis from some of my animations. So you could use those in the chat. And you can also make custom badges, which I kind of like created like a color system for like based on how long that you've been a member. But yeah, like even if you don't become a member, please check it out. Let me know what you think so far. But please consider becoming a member. I would like to continue doing these streams, but I just want to announce to everybody. I feel like it has some potential. Like this has some potential. It's only a few dollars a month. Oops. All right. Gonna have to get that nose. Yeah, okay, so funny story about the Killer Croc in my Brick Bob Films episodes is I remember I saw the Killer Croc minifigure head in like a Keshin 8 video when I was a little kid. How many of you guys have seen the animation like Lego meeting for villains? Like it's just a meeting where like popular fictional villains, the Joker, Darth Vader, Emperor Palpatine, I don't know, Octo Guy, Spider Man, just like a whole bunch of popular like sci-fi villains or superhero villains. Like they're all at a table and they're talking. And there's a scene where Killer Croc is talking, but like it's just a whole bunch of like reptilian gibberish. So like no one can understand what he's saying. There was a version for like its heroes too. Like there's one that has like Luke Skywalker, I don't know, Spider-Man, Iron Man, all talking in a meeting. Some of you guys must have seen that, I feel like. Bro, another reference to Forest Fire. I keep hearing people mention Forest Fire in my streams, but I never watched Forest Fire. Like when it came to Lego animators, it was Michael Hickox, Keshin 8, Al Nichols films, Robin Jake, that's like the oldest one. Probably a few others I'm forgetting. But yeah, I tended to gravitate towards stuff that was like more writing intensive rather than like animation. Like I don't know, like clearly I like the animation, but stuff that had like clever writing, funny scenarios and stuff like that. Like I talked about this like that what was it, Home with the Skywalkers, where it's like Darth Vader's like a dad and Luke is like his edgy teenage son and they like bicker. There was this really funny one called Wampa where it's like a Wampa walks into like just a room, like a coffee room, and just rants to Jabba the Hutt for like several minutes. It's really funny. I think the video is just called like Wampa in all capital letters. Like this this Wampa is just like he walks into a room and he's just ranting to Jabba the Hutt of how aggravated he is with like I don't know, I don't even remember what it was. Just like something like he got angry at like a Jedi for like slicing off his friend's arm. It might have been Luke. So he like got angry and ripped off like an X-wing wing. Maybe it wasn't an X-wing. Maybe it was a snow speeder. But yeah, that's such a funny video. No, I never watched Brotherhood Workshop. SpongeBob Sonic Guy, what's up? Yeah, I have heard the rumors. I have definitely heard the rumors. I like look, we're just gonna have to wait and see about the whole new Lego SpongeBob sets. We're just gonna have to wait and see what's up. I'm hoping that it'll be something fun that I mean, one way or another, I feel like I'll find a way to integrate it into one of my videos. But like I heard that they're making in one of the articles talking about the rumors of them making new Lego SpongeBob sets, like they mentioned like a Lego Brickheads thing, SpongeBob themed. Do any of you guys know what Brickheads is? They're these horrifically ugly things. Lego Brickheads. I'm going to show you guys. Look at this. These look awful. Like, ugh. Yeah, I don't care if it's SpongeBob themed. I'm not getting one of these. Like, come on. Come on. Wait, like, can somebody explain to me how, like, what the heck is it? Joy from Inside Out has like the same build as where the heck I saw a Shrek one. Yeah, here it is. Like, I don't even know if this is real. But like, you know what I mean? Anyway, I don't care about. But if they make like a legitimate set, that would be awesome. Yeah, it's like it's literally Funko, just Lego. And Funko Pop figures look awful. Like they're it's a really not that good art style. Now, I'm going to be honest, I actually do have one Funko Pop figure. I have one Funko Pop figure. I will show it to you guys. I will show it to you guys momentarily. There was only one Funko Pop figure that I ever wanted, and I found him at a convention. And like I went to the convention like with this artist, and like he was like, "Hey, let me get you something." And I'm like walking around this convention, and of course, like it's a comic convention, so there's tons of Funko Pops everywhere. Like entire kiosks built from the boxes of Funko Pop figures. And I finally found the one that I wanted. I was like, yeah. But other than that, like I don't know, if they made like a new Krusty Krab or a new, I don't know what you call it. The name, the street where SpongeBob and Patrick and Squidward live, like if they made a new one of those, that would be sick. we got two Funko haters in the chat. That's funny. Yeah, these little undertones help. I don't want the gray to be peeking out in some areas. That could be bad. It's gonna look weird. So I was talking about this recently with somebody. So I don't know if I mentioned this to you guys, but like so I was talking about how much I liked when the sculpture has a matte finish gray to it, and what kind of gets lost when you add color to it. I feel like when you're adding color to like a 3D object, like now your approach to lighting it is going to be very different. You're going to get a lot of new qualities to things. The different colors that you add are going to bring attention in a different way. But what's so cool about having just a gray sculpted piece like this, well, is that when you have a piece that's gray, gray is like a midtone. So you're getting, when you shine a light on it, you're getting a whole spectrum of highlights on the subject and shadows. So recently I went to an animation convention, and there was a Disney animator there, Aaron Blaze, and he was talking about his illustrations. I went to like a master class of his, really nice guy, really talented. And he was talking about how when you draw, like a lot of people draw on white, but one of the problems with drawing on white is that once you do that, everything kind of looks dark by comparison, because you can't get brighter than white, like just a pure white sheet of paper. So everything that you're putting down is going to look dark by comparison. So he recommended like trying to draw on like a midtone, like gray, because then you're able to do things like add highlights if you want. I was like, oh, I never thought about it like that. So obviously I've never sculpted like a white figure or a statuette before, because I don't think I've ever seen some kind of like raw, like just white clay, unless you get like Sculpey 3 or something like that. Yeah, already like kind of just adding this pink and flesh, bit more pink, but like already adding this, I'm like getting the sense that this character has blood underneath the surface. You know what I mean? Underneath the skin. But yeah, so like I've casted stuff in white using resin. I have a piece in my closet, which I've shown on stream before. And when you have a piece that is white, even if there's a lot of detail, a lot of it is really difficult to see because of how bright it is, unless you just have very particular lighting. But if you have something that's gray, then you're able to catch all of that detail way more like effortlessly. Oh my god. Yeah, this paint is like kind of had it. Salman, I don't think we've had you here before, but either way, I bid you welcome. It's so good to see new faces. I do want to mention I'm going to advertise these streams on BrickBob Films soon. The reason that I have not done that yet is because I'm not actively working on stuff for that channel, so I don't want to announce these streams on BrickBob Films despite me like not making episodes of BrickBob Films actively. I would rather do it when I'm working on a new episode, you know what I mean? Because then I want to get people like excited to jump in and watch like, oh yeah, I'm subscribed to BrickBob Films. Now I'm seeing the new episode get made. This is an unrelated project. But no, welcome. What's up, Inkspot? So just announcing it again. Yo, we're 12 viewers. What's up? So just announcing this again, I did recently unveil channel memberships. I'm not planning on doing members only content for now, but in case any of you guys would want to use any of the custom emojis that I made and also get access to the membership badges, which I implemented custom badges. Even if you don't sign up, feel free to take a look. Let me know what you think so far. But yeah, just like, I don't know, I was just thinking like it would be really cool to give people a new way to like interact and participate. Yeah. Yeah, I am planning on doing more episodes of BrickBob Films. I just have to get this one. I have to get this animation done. But yeah, I'm definitely planning on making some episodes of BrickBob Films this year. Unless like another job came up where I'm like I have to go somewhere and animate or something. Like I am currently planning on doing more BrickBob Films sometime this year. Because like another thing with like these live streams, channel memberships and stuff like that, you guys all getting more involved. Yo, shout out to 10 likes. I think it would be cool to like kind of engage with you guys more, like asking like polls, like what episode should I make next? Like maybe getting some people voting on it. I don't know. Just like, because highlighting that we are now working on these films together, because I used to make these just completely alone. But over a month ago, I started working on this Popeye project, and just to like look back and see that almost the entire project has been done on stream with you guys, that's like pretty awesome. You know what I mean? Yeah, so right now I'm working on a scene for a reanimated collab based on a Popeye the Sailor Man cartoon. Actually, you know what? Maybe I'll show you guys what I have like so far. Yo, we're at 16 viewers. What's good, everybody? Yeah, so let me just pull it up right quick. Only going to play it once. Yeah, this is it. This is not for the faint of heart, by the way. Yeah, there you have it. That's what we have so far. Almost everything in that footage was done on stream. But yeah, I was thinking, what if I could like, why couldn't I make an episode of Brick Bob Films on stream? So making an episode of Brick Bob Films is usually pretty straightforward because it is a very dialogue heavy show. And I mean, there are special effects, don't get me wrong, like stuff that has to be composited in later. But like it's it's not nearly like this complicated where every single shot is like an individual asset that has to be like compiled together. I think this is called like the original cartoons called like Popeye and the Phantom or something. Oh, I should. You know what? Like, I guess while I'm here, while we're on the subject, I should send the stream to the Discord. There's like a big Discord community for all the animators who are working on the project, which is pretty, I think, standard for these reanimated collabs. But yeah, like when I was a teenager, like particularly in like 2018, 2019, these were pretty popular. Like a lot of people were doing these. I was thinking of doing one of my own for a bit, but I don't have that much free time. I would much rather allocate that time to animating. Let's have a look. Just gonna send this to the Discord. All right. Great. I don't I'm gonna be real with you. I don't know how you join the collab. Normally, like from my memory, like if you want to join a collab, you have to contact the host directly. But the thing was like I didn't contact the host to get into this project. Like I was contacted by the host, which also happens because they have to recruit animators, but yeah, I don't know if there are scenes available, to be quite honest. I'm just making my scene. You know what? We'll put some flesh on the eyes. Crab, what's going on? Wait, Crab, I recognize you from Brick Bob Films. I've seen you in the comments before. Your your profile picture is very distinctive. Skin is weird. Not to mention that this guy has a stubble, so I have to make sure that I'm getting the color like in there. Favorite Clay Kremling game review? I like I don't even know, dude. I have not revisited Clay Kremling properly. It's funny because like I've had people in my stream say that like, "Oh, rewatched Clay Kremling recently." I have not given Clay Kremling like a proper rewatch, but I'll have to do that sometime. It's so weird. Right now, it just looks like Popeye has third-degree burns. Nah, crab. I've never heard of Edbound. Shout out to a dozen viewers, nearly a dozen likes. Let's go. Oh, 13. Sweet. I'll probably add some pastels to this for the like some of the shading. Oh, actually, we're gonna need white. Just a little. Quins, I have not seen Shivering Truth. Solomon, I have seen the Puppetoons. Puppetoons, George Powell, right? We were talking about the Puppetoon movie at one point. What was it like? One of the previous streams, we were having a long conversation about Gumby, and I was like, why do people like Gumby? Like, he's iconic, but at the same time, he has like no cultural relevance. Like, he's a character. He's like an animated character that has all of the characteristics of like an iconic like mascot, but at the same time has not been in anything like particularly remarkable, you know? Like the Gumby movie to this day, one of the worst, I think probably the worst stop motion film I've ever seen. It was like the only stop motion movie that I couldn't finish when I was a kid. You know, Inkspot, perhaps I just haven't gotten to know Gumby well enough yet. Perhaps. Like, if I ever watch like a Gumby cartoon and I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing, I will surely let you guys know. So I watched this series. It's kind of funny because like these characters sort of look like Gumby, but somehow have even less detail. Did any of you guys watch Clay World back in the old days of YouTube? I think it started out as like a Newgrounds series, but then it just kind of migrated to YouTube. Because Clay World was a really, I guess, like inspirational stop motion series to me when I was a kid. Because it was made by like a teenager in his room on his tabletop. And when I saw it as a little kid, like, you had like these worlds, you had these characters, you had funny, goofy dialogue. And like, that was, it motivated me to do the same thing in my own way. I didn't possess any like interest in writing original stuff when I was a kid. So instead of making my own original like series, excuse me a sec, I did Brick Bob films instead, like a SpongeBob. Okay, Jacob, a recent show that I watched all the seasons of was Invincible. So like when Invincible came out, I saw the first season. God, that was like 2021 or something. Man, how the time flies. But yeah, I watched all the seasons that are currently out. So that's like what, 4? Like just the other day I finished watching season 4. Yeah, so like whenever something popular comes out, I have like this strong like aversion to watching it because I just like I don't know, whenever something comes out and is popular, I'm like, oh, it's probably overhyped. That was just kind of like my experience like growing up. But I watched Invincible. It was really good. Yeah, Invincible, I mean, granted, show has not ended yet, but the show like has a good direction. Like it's going in an exciting direction. The world building's great. The characters are good. I think I might have said this on stream, but like I described it like it's kind of like Dragon Ball Z if Dragon Ball Z was like actually good because like it has a lot of things that remind me of Dragon Ball Z. So like Dragon Ball Z, which I watched when I was like a teenager, must have been like 13. Uh, yeah, Dragon Ball Z, it has this really cool, it has cool world building, it has mythology, has very iconic characters. It has so many iconic moments. Like Dragon Ball Z is like, oh, also the animation art style is it's very iconic. Like Dragon Ball Z, I can see the appeal behind it, but I just could not stomach how bad the writing was in the show. So, an anime that I watched when I was a kid, granted, this is like completely different, was the Pokemon anime. And what was exciting about the Pokemon anime was that even though it had like an overarching story of Ash Ketchum trying to become a Pokemon master, it also had storytelling that was like exciting to watch. Like every episode had every episode had like, you know, a setup, world building, whatever town they were in, throw in a few new Pokemon, few new characters, and it always wrapped up neatly at the end, but also kind of got you excited to keep going on the journey with these characters. Dragon Ball Z was like you watch a whole 20-minute episode and nothing happens. Like the dialogue is really really ridiculously cheesy. Granted, maybe the experience is probably a bit different in like if you watch it in Japanese, but like just nothing would happen in an episode, and like it was frustrating for me. Like you'd watch an entire episode, like 20 minutes, and the story would barely advance, like barely. And it's frustrating because like I do like Dragon Ball when it's done right. So like the Super Broly movie that came out in like 2018, 2019, love that movie. It's so so great. Dragon Ball Fighters the game, oh, I remember when that came out in 2018. Oh, loved that game. But yeah, like even recently I tried watching, what was it, Dragon Ball Super Battle of the Gods or something? I think that was the movie. Like the movie's called Dragon Ball Super Battle of the Gods. Like that sounds like, you know, pretty epic, like fighting like movie, you know, new character, new powerful foe, all that stuff. And like I didn't even finish it. Like I was over an hour in, and like the whole movie was just meandering and like the characters fooling around in like a summer barbecue, like at Bulma's birthday. Dragon Ball Evolution. Yeah, I do not need to see Dragon Ball Evolution. That's like that definitely just like come on. That's not even Dragon Ball. Sorry. When I went away this weekend, and of course I brought back like a little sickness with me, so it's but the show must go on. Yeah, like Dragon Ball Z has like so much like really really iconic good iconography, mythology, world building. It takes place in this big universe. But another thing that just drove me crazy about Dragon Ball were the Dragon Balls themselves. So, like, the fact that you have this high stakes superpower, like, battle martial arts show where characters are fighting and, like, the fate of the planet is at stake, fate of worlds are at stake, armies, like, the Saiyan race, like, you have all these warring factions. Like, you do have this very rich backdrop for large scale conflict in Dragon Ball Z. But the whole thing is negated by the fact that you have the Dragon Balls, which are like essentially the universe's undo button. I don't like the way death is depicted in Dragon Ball Z, and I really don't like the Dragon Balls as a narrative device because the Dragon Balls by design remove any sense of dread or consequence in the show. Like already you're watching the show and like nothing's happening. Like characters will stand around gawping at how powerful Goku is or how powerful Frieza is. But like, you know, you also have just Dragon Balls which can, oh, bring a person back to life. Oh, get everyone on Namek off Namek. And to add insult to injury, you have the way death is depicted where, oh, if you die in the Dragon Ball universe, you just go away to this like to King Kai's planet or something, or oh, you go to Snake Way. And like it's almost like if you die in the Dragon Ball universe, it's kind of more like you've been put in the timeout corner. Like I remember watching, I'll never forget. watching season 1 of Dragon Ball Z when I was like 13. I was so excited to see what all the hype was about. And Goku, like, spoiler alert for a show that came out in the 80s, but like Goku dies at the very beginning of the show. And that means that Gohan has to like fend for himself. But then you just see Goku running on Snake Way the entire season. And it's like it's not like he's dead. Like he got sent to like a distant timeout universe where he has to pay his toll by running on a really, 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 really long road to come back to life. Like, what? It feels so therapeutic to just kind of talk about like this whole Dragon Ball Z thing, because I never hear anyone else talk about it. I've heard people say that like, oh, the show has filler and stuff like that. But just like all of these little things, actually, they're not even really little. They're like pretty huge. Like for me, I'm just like, am I the only one that notices this? I'm not that smart. Like other people have got to see this, right? Okay, so this is really cool because it's like I'm painting the flesh tones on, but with the red skin underneath, it kind of looks like he has like scurvy. Like his skin looks like it's been burnt by like the salt water of the ocean. That's the thing, like even though I'm not airbrushing this, you can still get some pretty fun results. It's still going to stand out compared to everything else in the animation. Yeah, so like because like I'm a little bit sick, it's like the thing where it's like one of my nostrils was completely plugged up, so the whole resonantial chambers of my sinuses and head and voice are like thrown off. Thank you, guys. Okay, yeah, that's actually a good question. How did I know the Puppetoons when I was a kid? This must have been in like 2009. Must have been like I was probably less than 10 years old. I had a relative that knew that I really, 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 really love stop motion, and she would bring me stop motion films that she just found, like films that I didn't see in theaters for one reason or another. I remember she brought me a copy of A Town Called Panic. How many of you guys have seen A Town Called Panic? It's French, but it's a stop motion film. I'll come back to A Town Called Panic in a bit, but like she brought me A Town Called Panic. She brought me Mary and Max, which was definitely not a kids movie, but I still loved it anyway. But yeah, like she would bring like these obscure animated films that, maybe they were international or something like that. And she found a copy of the Puppetoon movie. And that was my introduction to the George Powell Puppetoons. Oh my God. Quinn Studio, like Mary and Max is probably one of the greatest stop motion films ever. Like, oh my God. Memoir of the Snail, Adam Elliott's new film, great, awesome, but nothing will top Mary and Max. But yeah, like the Puppetoon movie, it's not a conventional narrative. It's more so like a greatest hits collection of George Powell's Puppetoon films that he made throughout his career. And it was interesting. Like they put the whole movie into context with Gumby like trying to make a film, and the dinosaur who's like his lead actor, like telling him about how George Powell pioneered stop motion, or at least mainstreamed stop motion, the same way Walt Disney did with cartoons in America. But the Puppetoon movie, like it had a bunch of different cartoons, but there were like a few that really left a big impact on me. Like Jasper and a Jam, that was my favorite, I think. It was definitely my favorite. And then I ended up making my own treatment of Jasper and a Jam. Jasmine and the Jam. My brain's all fogged up. But yeah, like, oh my gosh, Jasper and a Jam. I loved that when I was a kid. Oh, the music, the characters, like the antiques. Oh. I did not see a Dr. Seuss one. I don't know when George Powell stopped making Puppetoons. I don't know. But yeah, I did not know that there was a Dr. Seuss Puppetoon. This is looking pretty good. I mean, there is some gray to be seen, which I don't know how I feel about. Probably should have added like a primer coat. But yeah, that's okay. He definitely looks like he has scurvy. I have to add some like bulging veins on his eyes. But yeah, Mary and Max, that was like another movie that my relative like got me. I watched it by myself. She didn't know that it wasn't a kids movie. She just saw that it was stop motion. And like Mary and Max, I wasn't happy when I finished watching it, but I didn't dislike the movie. That was like my first time. That was my first. That was the first time I could remember watching a movie where I wasn't happy at the end of it, but I knew that that was the point, you know? Mary and Max is a very poignant, very raw story with a fittingly poignant ending. So I knew that that was like what the film was trying to do. Mary and Max is just such a beautiful, beautiful, like so fundamentally human movie. Like, oh my gosh, it's so good. Fruit does prevent scurvy. If you were wondering if I've seen scurvy in real life, I have not seen scurvy in real life. I just like, I don't even remember what my point of reference is. It's just like seeing the splotchiness of the skin to me is like, oh yeah, this guy is out to sea. He's covered in salt water. His skin is just taking a beating from the sun. Yeah, Memoir of a Snail is also really good. I need to see it again. I've seen it, I think, twice or three times. I actually, when Memoir of a Snail came out, I drove like to this like theater far away. It was like in the middle of the woods at nighttime. Like it was really late because I heard that there was going to be like some kind of a live stream where like with Adam Elliott before the film would begin. I'm a really big fan of Adam Elliott. He's a huge, huge, huge inspiration for my work. That guy's like a literal genius. But yeah, I went to go see Memoir of a Snail. And it's funny because I believe, so 2024 which was the year Memoir of a Snail came out. I believe that was also the year that I got acquainted with Adam Elliott's filmography outside of Mary and Max. So Mary and Max was his feature film, but the films that he made before that, like Harvey Crumpet, which won an Oscar, was really good. I discovered that one. I watched the films that he made when he was about my age, like I think in either like film school or after college or something. Those are just like unbelievably amazing. Like Adam Elliott is just the master at like finding out how to say as much as possible with as few words. And the way that he adapts his themes and stories to not just the screen, but to animation specifically is ingenious. Like the films that he made in the 90s, Uncle, Brother, Cousin, those films are less than 10 minutes long. Cousin, I think, is like 4 minutes. And it feels like you just got like a full experience. If I could make something as rich yet condensed as Adam Elliott, I would die a happy man. That'd be cool. Yeah, so one thing about Memoir of the Snail that I kind of did to myself was, like I said, in 2024, that was when I got acquainted with Adam Elliott's old filmography. And in Memoir of the Snail, there are so many references to the films that he made at the start of his career, like so many. Most audiences would definitely not notice it because of the obscurity of his earlier films, but I like knew every single one like by heart. I will say I did not like Memoir of the Snail as much as Mary and Max. So like in terms of like ingenuity, like Memoir of the Snail is really, really advanced compared to Mary and Max. It does make the visuals of Mary and Max feel like, just kind of like a bit more quaint by comparison. But that was like, if you watch Adam Elliott's really, really, really early work, they were always quaint. And Adam Elliott's visuals being quaint was not absolutely not a weakness. It was a strength. He took that and made it into a strength. Man's just a genius. I think it would be amazing to work on a film with him one day. A stop motion remake of Little Shop of Horrors? I mean, no, because that's a whole movie. I mean, maybe you mean like a scene. I probably wouldn't, because like once again, I'm already doing like a lot of remake stuff with Brick Bob Films, but Little Shop of Horrors, like the film, that is an example of a musical theater adaptation that was done spectacularly well. Broadway musicals have a reputation for not really adapting to the screen very good. Usually somewhere along the lines, you hit things that don't translate very well. But the Little Shop of Horrors movie, like the one from the 80s, Frank Oz, that movie is so unbelievably perfect. perfect cast, unbelievably good special effects. Like I feel like nowadays, ugh, I this is pretty dumb of me to say because I haven't seen the new Wickeds. I haven't even seen the Broadway show Wicked. I'm not the biggest musical theater guy on most days, but I just I feel like nowadays if one is to make a film adaptation of a musical theater piece, you're going to get like A-list celebrities to be the main characters. I am not familiar with the cast for the Wicked films that just came out. I'm trying to think what other musical theater film adaptations I've seen. Yeah, it's like you need a very special kind of performer to like a theater a stage performer is different than than like a film performer. Ideally, you would want someone that's good at both, but like I don't know, in the Little Shop of Horrors film, Rick Moranis isn't a singer. He can but like it that's also fine. Like he played the role so much and the singing was good. Like he did really really well. And he's not a singer. He was just the perfect actor to portray that character. That's like another thing with musical theater is that the level of reality that you're experiencing when watching theater is different than that of watching a film, which is why I think a lot of these films struggle to really capture the magic and spectacle and campiness of the stage version. There was just something about the movie, the Little Shop of Horrors movie from the 80s that just had the perfect blend of good singing, but also very zany actors, just such a great cast. Bill Murray, John Candy, uh, like the supporting roles, which is amazing. Christopher Guest shows up for a sec. Uh, what's her name? Ellen Green. I think she was in the original Broadway cast for Little Shop of Horrors. Absolutely amazing. Rick Moranis is so great. Steve Martin, I think, actually does some music. I think he wrote his own musical or something. Bright Star. I guess he plays ukulele or banjo or something. I think it was probably banjo. Uh, but yeah, but no, he played that role of the dentist so well. Like I would say that the Little Shop of Horrors feature film is an exception to the rule. One of my favorite musicals, Into the Woods, Sondheim. Like I grew up watching the Broadway version, like there was a recording on DVD. And it's amazing. Like I think you can watch it on YouTube for free. It's amazing. Like so unbelievably good. But then just so many things got lost in translation for the feature film adaptation. It was sucked dry of all of the humor, which made the Broadway version so much fun. The humor is very important. It does, Into the Woods is very serious, but the but the humor is very important to the storytelling. I'll have to watch those Mary Poppins films back to back. I have seen both, but I only saw both of them like once, and it was years ago. I'll have to check that out. Oh my gosh, the Les Miserables. I probably butchered that. The film is just like you have A-list celebrities who are also talented singers just sounding horrible. There's this really good video by a YouTuber called Sideways talking about like the making of the Les Mis film and just all the horrible practices that were done behind the scenes that ruined a lot of the music. Yeah, I'll have to. I mean, I don't have much devotion to Mary Poppins, but I remember I always heard that like the original Disney Mary Poppins was like all-time classic. Well, also you had Julie Andrews, who's a great actress, great singer. Yet musical theater lends itself to animation so well, very naturally. It's far more difficult to pull it off in like a live action film. But like what was it, Howard Ashman, like he said, like the level of reality is different in animation in the same way that theater is different from live action film. You already have to suspend your disbelief to an extent to believe that these cartoons are moving. Yeah, in the same way that you have to believe that like the characters on stage are actually, you know, going like it's all real. Buck Brothers, what's up? Welcome back. Just a reminder to everyone, please check out the memberships, but also check out the Patreon. Patreon, you can join for free. Go join for free in case anything horrible ever happens here on YouTube. But the channel memberships will give you access to custom emojis and badges so everyone else in the chat can see you, that you are a supporter. Yeah, this is looking pretty fly. I just have to apply a whole bunch of coats of white to the eyes. Yeah, I have not even seen Wicked like as it was intended on stage. I don't know what other colors I really need here. Okay. Excuse me a second. Went away for the weekend, brought something home with me beside myself. I don't think I have any white with a satin finish. Definitely not a gloss finish. Which is okay because I have the gloss in the bottle. Guess we're just gonna do that. So happy. Like, this is like the most amount of concurrent viewers that we've had. This is sweet. Here's what we're working with so far. How does he look? Oh, so ugly looking on camera. Oh, God. How many of you guys would buy this? I don't even have a price in mind for it yet, but considering it's an original piece, it's probably going to be pretty expensive. But yeah, I'm thinking like I don't need to keep this. Like, I have plenty of stuff, and if I'm making things on stream anyway, like I would totally sell more pieces. So actually the Puppetoon movie I got, it was one of the first movies that I got on demand, which was a new thing back then. I'll never forget the first movie that I ever got on demand, that my household got on demand, was Coraline. Because me and my sister saw it in New York City and were blown away by it. And we got it on demand on Amazon. And we watched it so many times. She would point out all the bits of like foreshadowing in it. There's so much good stuff to talk about. Like, in this stream so far, what we've gone from what, like Invincible to Mary and Max, A Town Called Panic, Puppetoon movie, Little Shop of Horrors. Like, you guys keep surprising me. I never know what's going to come next. TADC, what's that? Quinn Studio. I would have to rewatch it. Digital Circus is what Quinn is talking about. I would have to definitely rewatch it. I'm trying to think, like, off the top of my head. The I don't know, the one when they're in the fast food restaurant was pretty funny. What's demand? Okay, demand is streaming. Back then, like, do they even call it on demand anymore? Nowadays, everyone's saying streaming. But yeah, when I was a kid, it was called on demand. Yeah, I don't know about Jacob. So I would be more inclined to do Karate Island over Atlantis Square Pantis purely because Karate Island is a 10-minute long episode, whereas Atlantis Square Pantis is 20 minutes. It's a special. But but yeah, I mean, I like both episodes. When I was a kid, I loved Atlantis Square Pantis. I loved the alien people. I loved the David Bowie Lord Royal Highness character. Not that I knew it was David Bowie at the time. I love how weird and like unusual they looked. I like the songs. I'm sure the songs were like very annoying to some people, but me and my family, we would sing them all together. Karate Island, I think, is just like an okay episode, but like I was planning on doing it. Like I just haven't really gotten around to it yet. But yeah, like I was thinking of doing like it would be fun to do an episode of Brick Bob Films that takes place outside of like, Bikini Bottom, like something that goes to like a weird environment, like like Atlantis Square Pantis or Dunces and Dragons. That's like another episode where they spend like the whole episode takes place in a completely different environment compared to regular Bikini Bottom. Yeah. I've wanted to do Dunces and Dragons for a really long time. I remember I was originally planning on doing it in like 2016, which is 10 years ago, by the way. It was originally going to be like one of the last episodes of Lego SpongeBob or Brick Bob Films, but then I just canceled it because it was just a bit too ambitious for the time. I forgot why exactly I canceled it. It just, I mean, honestly, it probably wouldn't have even like really turned out that good. But now, today, I could make a killer version of uh, Dunces and Dragons. Yeah, like that could be a really fun, visually different episode of Brick Bob Films. Yeah, I've been wanting to do that episode for a while. I feel like it's going to happen at some point, but once again, building up these streams, like I feel that the more traction these streams gain, the more ambitious projects I'll be able to take. Because the problem with Brick Bob Films is like the work to output ratio is it's too brutal for modern YouTube. You can't do it. Much too brutal. I used to make those episodes in a day, and now I'm working on one for weeks, and I just have to hope that it does well with the algorithm. Like, no, it's much too unstable. So I'm thinking if I can build up these streams, get people tuning in more often, uh, getting maybe some members to join along for future streams, like that could enable me to keep making these animations more comfortably. Well, I want to touch on that, not just episodes, but just animations, period. Because, like I've talked about this before, what's really cool about working on animations that's not Brick Bob Films is that I gather skills that I can then be like, oh wait, this would look great in an episode of Brick Bob Films. Yeah. So no, it's like it's a lot of fun, but the important thing is like also, it has to be sustainable. And just like last year, I made episodes of Brick Bob films that just took copious amounts of work. Like I went I went all out for some of those episodes. And they turned out really, really, really great, but they just didn't do well algorithmically. So I don't want to have to rely on a nebulous algorithm in order to do another Survival of the Idiots remake or another Squid Bob Tentacle Pants or another One Crab's Trash. To do another episode of Brick Bob Films where I can like go crazy with the special effects. Because doing these streams and like having you all join in, like now my content is about me making the film. The film is just the event. That's the light at the end of the tunnel. That's the goodbye working on this project. We are now going to work on a new thing. So like I guess really what I'm saying is like monetizing the process. That's really important because then I can work on an episode of Brick Bob Films for as long as I want, and I don't have to worry like, oh shoot, this is not going to recoup in the YouTube algorithm. You know what I mean? I might put more pigment on the back of the head. I don't know. I'm seeing a lot of gray from the clay underneath. Perhaps if I apply the pastels after, it might help. I like how the scars on his chin turned out. Trying to think what I have to do next. Here, while I'm evaluating, just for my own sanity, I'm gonna paint the base. Yeah, this is looking pretty good. This is not taking as long as I thought. Now, he has to dry and he needs pastels put on him. I don't even have to do the base now, but I'm just doing it just because gives me something else to do while I let the rest of the statue soak in. Yeah, like when you're working on a piece for hours and hours and hours, sometimes you do need to take a break. Like you have to go to sleep, go to the gym, and then come look at it later and be like, then you're seeing all of those little things that you just weren't before. Signature can go here. But yeah, I think I'll probably put this up for sale on my website after the project is complete for anyone who wants to have an original piece. Once again, like for these clay animation films, I always get people asking, "Oh, do you sell any of the puppets? Do you or something like that?" I say no because the modeling clay is not designed to hold for years and years. It's not what it's designed to do. But having something like this, something that's baked, this is totally something that I could sell. Only problem is the fragility. Buck Brothers, tell me about your thing. Like, what does a conceptual group like? Tell what is your thing that you're working on? Inkspot, you're always coming back from somewhere. Welcome back. We're just working on Popeye still. I just painted his base just for the heck of it. I kind of like hit a point where I'm like, shoot, like he's looking pretty good. Now I just kind of have to sit and ruminate for a bit. We were discussing episodes of Brick Bob films that would likely, or rather, episodes of SpongeBob SquarePants that would translate really, really well into Brick Bob films. Episodes like Atlantis SquarePantis, Karate Island, Dunces and Dragons. Yeah, Atlantis SquarePantis, I don't know. I mean, I could totally pull it off if the incentive was there. But yeah, like, but I definitely have the means right now to make like a good adaptation of Karate Island or Dunces and Dragons. Jacob, thanks for watching. I making that episode was such a fun time. Yeah, like I really I like finding ways to just liven up Brick Bob films by just throwing something crazy in there, you know? A little claymation effect here. Oh gosh, like going back and looking at the effects I did in like Brick Bob Films 2025, Mr. Magic, Squid Bob Tentacle Pants. Oh, so good. What do I'll do for the eyes? Probably add some like veins or something in there. Yeah, Quinn's, I am right with you there. It's because I just didn't know any better. I was a young, you know, young, underdeveloped, foolish kid. You know what? The reason that it did not fill 16 by 9 for the longest time was because I didn't know anything about like cropping or aspect ratio when I was a kid and I was doing my filmmaking. And to make matters worse, what happened was my stop motion program by default would be set to 4 by 3, not 16 by 9. And I was doing editing. Well, when I first started out, I wasn't doing editing at all. I would just upload the raw files onto YouTube. So it would always be 4 by 3. But even when I started doing editing, I because my stop motion program, the program that I use today, by the way, this is a professional program. It's set to 4 by 3 by default. So, not really knowing that I could change or add an overlay for 16 by 9 filming, for the longest time, I would upload, or rather, I would extract the video files from my stop motion program, put them into iMovie, which has very limited means for cropping. And like in iMovie, there's no option to like stretch the footage to fill the screen. You can't adjust it. Like you can't even tweak it. Either something is cropped or it isn't. So there were I guess what I'm trying to say is there were numerous points where I had opportunities to shoot at 16 by 9 and I never like enabled that, you know? So like Adobe Premiere, for example, you have a lot more options with how you can stretch the footage if you want to 16 by 9. You could like you could either do what is it? I think it's called stretch to fill, stretch to scale, something like that. But yeah, like nowadays, like I'm very aware of it because it's a presentational thing. Absolutely aware of it. But yeah, there was this thing in a lot of my old cartoons where you'll have footage that's 4 by 3, but then I'll do a Ken Burns zoom in iMovie, and you'll see the bars from the 4 by 3 crop kind of go away. It's awful. Terrible. Awful. Long story short, I was a little kid and didn't know any better. You know? But there were like other things that I just didn't pay attention to, like lighting, for instance. I didn't care about lighting even when I was like 17 or 18. I'm trying to think when I really started paying attention to lighting, but even like just a few years ago, like I wasn't paying attention to lighting and stuff. When I was a kid, I just cared about the animation. I was not an editing guy, a lighting guy, a film composition guy. All of these little things were like that I do now were picked up over years of just doing my work. You know what I mean? But I love talking about this kind of stuff because to everyone, to everyone who's watching, like right now, like I can tell you guys about this and say, don't make my mistake. Like, I mean, if you're really new and you're just trying to get into animation, focus on the animation. I always say that you will have the rest of your life to get better, get better equipment, get a better editing software, get a new light. You'll have your whole life to do that. But like you could get all the best equipment right off the bat. Doesn't make a difference. It's not going to make you a better filmmaker. Like for me, being like doing my filmmaking for over 10 years. And after just years and years of doing this, over time, you'll always ask yourself little questions like, why are there bars on the side of my screen? How do I fix that? Oh, shoot the footage at 16:9 and not 4:3. Oh, why can't I not see anything that's happening in the scene? Oh, because I don't know how to light for nighttime. So just the more projects that you work on, the more opportunity you're giving yourself to look at it and say, huh, how do I correct this? How do I correct that? And just all of these seemingly very small corrections, they compound over time. Not get this way overnight. And I had to make a lot of really dumb mistakes or just little, I wouldn't even say, I don't even know if mistakes is the right word, because I just didn't even have like an awareness for things like lighting or composition, stuff like that. For years, when I was filming with my camera, I had a Canon Rebel T5i. This is a T7, but the body looks pretty much the same, very similar. Yeah, Quinn's, it's in the Nanoman video. So like you noticed. I made that when I was like 15. I didn't pay attention to that kind of stuff. If I made that now, you'd know that that footage would be 16:9 the entire time. But yeah, it's so gratifying to see the evolution of the work from big details to, I don't know, the fidelity of the sculpting, the fluency of the animation, the effects, to really small things that you just take for granted, like the aspect ratio being consistent. Seeing those things improve as well, you as the filmmaker, you are going to notice that. Audience is probably not going to notice. Most people are probably not going to notice. But as a filmmaker, it is your job to understand many different facets, especially if you're like making films all by yourself, like I have. It is your job to understand how all of these different facets of filmmaking work and why they work. And it's the audience's job to take it for granted. I heard someone say one time that like when it comes to like editing, for example, good editing is very hard to define. Like it's hard to point out good editing, because good editing should not be noticeable. Like film editing, for example. If you're noticing the editing, then you're doing something wrong. The editing should create a seamless experience. And in filmmaking, there are so many different things that are happening at once. Filmmaking is just amazing because there's so many different artistic and technical abilities happening all at the same time. And the audience will take most of it for granted, always. And that's how it should be. That will create the immersion. Hey, take it easy. Have a good one. So yeah, just doing this over a long period of time, you build an awareness for all these little things, and you realize that, oh yeah, this matters, you know? Maybe I'll give him a few little veins on his eyes, but then I'll start applying pastel. Burgundy. Do I have a really fine brush tip? All right. Just twirling this around, getting it fine enough. But yeah, I'm going to give good old Popeye here some veins in his eyes. This doesn't have to be incredibly detailed. I would like this. Oh, I have to touch that up. Jacob, I wouldn't say that I had a best voice actor. Cuz like everyone brings something different to the table. Personally, the voice actors I've had appear on like I don't know, Brick Bob films for instance, like the people that I've had appear on there have all been like really professional, really good. But many of them do voice acting already and have had like portfolios for it. Like that's like the big thing for me is like whenever I'm getting ready to work with somebody, I always ask like what's your portfolio? Portfolios matter so much because that like for me will convey what your ability is like right off the bat. But also like acting is really tricky because it's not just about ability, it's also about like social presence or awareness because that drives views and engagement. You know what I mean? In the same way that like an A-list celebrity will get butts and seats to a film, or like a big name director will get people to see their new film. Yeah, like in Brick Bob films, for instance, like I'll usually get a voice actor for a non-recurring character. At this point, for like a behind the scenes video, I mean, I've done the director's commentaries for a couple episodes of Brick Bob Films. But for now, this is probably going to be my most consistent behind the scenes, I guess, video series, because these live streams help in the sense that I don't have to edit them. I do need, like, like, I have my setup, of course, and I want to optimize it a bit more. Like, just little presentational things. Like, I'm still new to this live streaming thing, but with the way things are going right now, it's like keep making my projects, but also keep growing in active viewer base for these live streams, because now we're working on the film together. I think I actually did. Oh yeah, well, when I was a kid, I made a behind the scenes video on Brick Bob Films where I like took out like my mom's phone and just like literally like filmed my table and was like, this is where I make the episodes. That video's very slightly outdated. It's extremely, extremely dated. Gosh, I'll have to look at that. Oh, this is horrifying. This is gonna be great. Yeah, this would be a pretty cool prop to sell. Now these are fragile, like even if it does come through the mail like in one piece, it's still going to be fragile because it just degrades over time. But like for this piece, the only thing that I would be concerned about in the mail are like the ears. One of the reasons I did not give this guy a pipe was because I was worried about like shipping it. But no, I think we've about done it. I think we're pretty good. Yeah. Now, eyes need a little bit of tweaking, and of course, it does need the gloss finish on like the eyes, maybe the lips a little. Yeah, I'm trying to think like what. So I have a dry pastel set which I will use on this. He's looking really good. He'll do well on camera. Oh, he's disgusting looking. It's great. Yeah. All right, let's take a look at my pastels. Here they are. Wonder if I can add like affiliate links to here. But yeah, what are these? Faber Castell 24 soft palettes. Yeah. And because this is matte finish, like Craft Smart paint, yeah. Red label at the bottom means it's matte finish. It holds the pastels really, really well. And like it dries so fast. I think we should be good to go now. The last thing that I do once I'm done applying the pastels is use this sealant, like this, what is it? Fixative? Final fixative. Grumbacher matte final fixative. All right. I think I have a special brush just for doing this. I have some brushes that are like worn down to the nub from applying pastels. Yo, I've been to a Jerry's. There's one far away from when I live, but my grandfather loved going to Jerry's. He used to take me with him. I don't know if they have them in a Jerry's Artorama. I mean, it always depends on where you live, but nowadays, like, there's something like everywhere. There's got to be somewhere where you can get your hands on the art supplies you need. I remember I would always get these at Michael's. I'm trying to see what it needs first. If I want what color tones I want to have. Salman, welcome back. Let's see how the red does. All right. Pastels, giving them a go. Oh, there might have been some wet paint there. Oops. Whoops. The animation is a bit questionable. I've never watched Hoodwinked. I had been asked in stream if I've watched Hoodwinked before. I have to see it. One of the reasons I never watched it was because, like, it looks really ugly. Like, the art style looks pretty hideous from, like, the pictures I've seen of it. I was spoiled with animated movies when I was growing up. The animation's a bit questionable. I didn't know they did a Puppetoon movie, Volume 3. It's interesting. I know they were trying to work on a Volume 2. I never heard of a Volume 3. Also, I don't know if I can send you the Discord link. I don't know what the rules are surrounding that, but if you are looking to get involved, I would recommend just looking up like Popeye Reanimated collab. If they are accepting like people joining the project, there should be like a public way to get in contact with the host. But I can't, I'm just an animator on the project, and I don't know if I'm allowed to be sending out Discord links. Oh, hit 2 hours. Sweet. Thank you guys for sticking by me. We have advanced a lot from the start of the stream. Oh my god. Oh boy. That's quite a bit of difference from where we were like just like 2 hours ago. This guy was still gray. I need to have a proper backdrop for photographing my latest statues, because if I am to sell these, I want to present them the right way. Like, I've definitely seen old men with skin like this before, particularly in areas close to the water. Like, I don't know what to tell you guys. Like, I think Inkspot asked me, how do I know what scurvy looks like? Look, I don't know. All I know is I've seen old sailor dudes with skin like this at some point or another in my life. I definitely have. Just super parched, red, definitely covered in salt all the time, degrading, sun damaged, sun beaten skin. Oh, this is really good. Yeah, I think this head would make a really cool collector's piece. So, the idea for this portrait of Popeye, he's going to appear in the animation, but he's also going to appear in the credits because for this project, all the animators get to have their own little portrait, but it has to be like a variation of Popeye. And this is going to be mine. I was like, look, presentation, everything. And we gotta represent Lorenzo Volpentesta correctly. Can't get this with AI. The paper is slippery, too slick. Yeah, Jacob, all the more reason to emphasize the process. Just like it's hard and it's sad. It's a horrible truth, but like nowadays on the modern internet sphere, like you can't make a living just putting out animations anymore. So I'm trying to change that, rethink the way that the way that I do my work. Oh, he looks like very parched and sunburnt. All right. And there you have it. I think I have to just touch up the eyes a little bit Gonna add a little gleam in the eye, maybe some color. Maybe I'll do that now. I think I might be done with the pastels. I think we should be good for the moment. What color would Popeye's irises be? Try to picture this. Hold on a sec. Maybe green. Feeling maybe green. Not ridiculously green, but green. Do a base where it's pretty green, but yeah. Here, hold on a second. Just need to dilute the green a little bit. Because also the eyes, the pupils are black. Otherwise, it'll just be really difficult to see. Someone's dog outside won't shut up. This is like not the brush that I should be using. That's intense. Be honest, I'll probably take this out tonight and spray it with the sealant. Yeah, I take it outside. I always spray it outside. Spray it with the sealant. Or should I do the gloss finish first? Well, we've been going for about 2.5 hours now, so I'll probably wrap this up soon. But yeah, like, look at that. Really coming to life. Yeah. Hold on a second. I'm going to give you your due close-up. Oh, yeah. Like, we went from gray to this in 2 hours. The camera wants to focus on me. All right, you guys sit with that for a bit. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to mute myself just for the hell of it. We are back. Yeah. All right, let's add this gloss. I'm going to do that. I'm having flashbacks to when I was working on Lolo the Lucky Clown. I had an issue. I was like working on Lolo's eyes, like his individual eyes, and there was like something happened where like some red pigment or something got on one of the eyes, and I ended up having to peel off the gloss finish, and it was this massive pain in the neck. Yeah. When I was making all those clay parts for Lolo the Lucky Clown. He's in the closet. Yeah, I want to do more animations with Lolo. but they aren't studies. Like, you know. Yeah, doing those like animation studies at like oh my gosh, 24 frames per second, like those are a special case. Like those I'm not just doing on a whim. What I would like to do with Lolo is like try making some kind of a like 15 frame per second like little short film with him. I think that could be a lot of fun. I mean, he's a clown. How could it not be entertaining? Ooh, wait a second. Might put too much on here. All right, we're working with it. Oh, I think it might be residual pastel. That's probably it. It's not that bad. Yeah, coming together. Probably shouldn't shake this. I don't know if shaking it helps, but I just end up getting little bubbles. It's annoying. Trying to get rid of the bubbles, and it's just turning it into more bubbles. Amazing posture, by the way. Hold on a second. Could I? My desk setup is a little bit laborious, not gonna lie. Just want to, not be developing a like a little hunch or a neck hump. I don't know what you call it. Some Igor from a Young Frankenstein type thing. But yeah, looking good. I probably won't do any on the lips, honestly. I like that his face looks kind of dried out and parched. Oh yeah. Maybe while I wait for these coats of gloss to, cure and just dry off, yeah, I'm probably going to wait before spraying the fixative. Yeah. And there you have it. Please consider becoming a member so I can keep doing these streams. Like going from we made this whole thing on stream. This whole thing. And that's not even counting the Popeye project. Like, I can't believe that there is now there's video footage of me sculpting this guy, which was done largely on stream, and then painting him. Like, he was 2 hours ago, this guy was gray. I'm gonna stop the clock. Jeez. I'm all messed up. Yeah, I do have an airbrush set up. Oh, can I just get behind him? There we go. I have an airbrush set up. Wait, it's kind of funny looking. It's like, wait, hold on. Wait, wait. So like, hey, what's going on? Popeye here. So like, I have an airbrush setup over at my other studio space. I don't know if I could fit the airbrush setup in here. Probably not, because I am working with a pretty big like air compressor. They do make smaller ones. Not really sure how different this piece would look if it were airbrushed. But either way, we set out to make this grotesque, freaky looking Popeye face, and we have succeeded. Cheese grommet. But yeah, there you have it. Overall, it's been a pretty successful stream. And the best part is we are going to be back tomorrow, and I'm actually going to be doing a stream this Friday. There's going to be a break between tomorrow's stream and the stream after. So tomorrow and Friday. We'll see how that goes. See if new people pull up. But yeah, I'm going to call the stream here. But everyone, thank you so much for joining. This was so much fun. We've really created the most beautiful, horrifying Popeye portrait. Please remember, check out the Patreon. You can join for free. Just join in some form or another. And please consider becoming a channel member so I can keep doing streams just like this, keep making more films for you guys. I'm really excited to unveil new projects after this Popeye project is completed. I do have some filming to do coming up, but I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night. This is Lorenzo signing off along with Popeye.